want to talk about is articulation. People wonder sometimes why you want to get into this, and essentially, if you decided your teenage daughter or son, freshman in high school, decided that he or she wanted to be a doctor or a lawyer or a high school teacher, you have a pretty good idea as the parent, as the career counselor, as the whatever, to show them how to prepare. What classes they want to be a doctor, you really probably ought to take medicine, you ought to take biology, probably ought to take chemistry, whatever the high school offers, some math classes. I mean, we have a pretty good idea of what that path works in. Cybersecurity, nobody has a clue. Nobody really has a clue. And we don't have yet job titles, and you know, we're working on it. NICE, the people at NICE, for example, are working on it. Workforce framework, we got a lot of stuff in the mill, and 10 years from now, I hope we're in a different place. But at the moment, articulation and transfer pathways and career pathways, whatever terms you like to, term of art you prefer, at the moment are all real important topics. And so it's really useful for us to try to talk about how different people around the country have approached this issue. And so we have a very distinguished panel to discuss this and tell us what is going on in their realms and ask questions of all of you, and so we can have a discussion around the supper table, as I say. We have Pat Mikos from the Maryland State Department of Education for Technical Education, and Carlos Garcia from Michigan at a CTE program in high schools, but also articulating with Eastern Michigan University. And we have Virginia Muller from the governor's, I can't remember the name, but Chantilly Governor's STEM Academy in Virginia, and talk about how they are going to approach this. And since Pat is sitting closest to me, I will ask her to start.
All right. In Maryland.
There's your slide, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It was very noisy when we put it in
Yeah,
the computer. It
very
was very
picture
noisy,
made
and so the picture made noise when we took it back.
So in Maryland, we had existing career technology education programs around IT, information technology, and computing. And so as we were looking at increasing cybersecurity content or infusing cybersecurity content, creating pathways, we looked first at where we already had kids who are interested in IT and computing and teachers who teach that. So our first attempt to build in a pathway specific to cybersecurity was to create some options within the Cisco Academy. And so this is 7 years ago. We looked at existing Cisco academies, and Cisco academies are big in Maryland. We're a very small state, but we have 48 academies. In Maryland, we look at a sequence of at least 4 courses in high school that then, because it was Cisco academies, we had standardized resources and curriculum that naturally worked with the higher ed partners, 2-year and 4-year, mostly 2-year in this case, in the case of Cisco, that would articulate and recognize those programs. And so what we did is we looked at Cisco academies, how could we build in a cyber component in Cisco? And Cisco was working on some of their own curriculum revisions. And we went to CyberWatch, which happened to be right here in the area. And CyberWatch had developed a couple of courses by that time. Their intro level kind of cyber ethics and cybersecurity class. They had operating systems and some other courses that are meant to be kind of intro level courses. And so we modified our Cisco academies to include the selection of 2 CyberWatch courses. And any of the academies could just start to offer those courses as options for those kids. And that's where we started. And then we were also trying to build a computer science pathway. So that's the hardware side. And those folks got it right away. They were like, oh yeah, we could do this. And after they do this, and back then they had IT discovery and IT and the CCNA curriculum. Cisco was already building options off their curriculum and looking at more ways. So for them to work with Cisco and say, you know, build in some other options, cybersecurity, they were very open to that and worked with us. But at the same time, we wanted to work on the sort of programming computer science side. And it was less of a oh, of course, let's take that in and, you know, develop new courses and allow kids to do that, because it was just AP Computer Science, AP Computer Science, AP Computer Science, programming, programming, programming. And it was, and you'd say, well, what languages, what are you programming? Well, I don't know, who's the teacher? And so it was, you know, Bob's programs, Jim's program, you know, and that's just the way it is in the country. I mean, you know, my colleagues are laughing because that's the way it is. So, and from the State Department perspective, we don't like that. It drives the State Department crazy. Because we'd rather have everybody at least using some similar resources and, you know, predictability and all that kind of stuff. So we built, along with national partners, a computer science program of study on the CTE side of the house, which was another kind of like, what do you mean career technology ed? That's for the kids who can't. Computer science is for kids that are going to college. Yeah, so is CTE. So it was also a little bit of a cultural shift that career technology ed kids would take a computer science sequence. And so in that sequence, and again, we built it on national courses and focused on teacher training and the deployment of it rather than curriculum development. Because we didn't want to get quacked into that quagmire of curriculum development. So in Maryland, the computer science sequence is exploring computer science, and we have a lot of partners, and which addresses a lot of the diversity and opening up computer science to everyone and anyone. And we have a good partner with Code.org and many others, and Google and others, to help train teachers and to bring in and do a sort of, we describe it as a tidal wave. We don't want a little more computer science. We want a tidal wave of, you know, everybody and anybody getting open and available computer science. And so exploring computer science is the first course. We then put as the second course the principles course, the new AP course under development, CS Principles. There's a lot of national movement on that. We're lucky in Maryland. UMBC, one of our four-year institutions, is also a recipient of one of the NSF grants to help develop curriculum in support of the new AP CS Principles course. And so it's a group called CS Matters. They had additional funds to say bring in teachers every summer to create these master teachers that would then go train other teachers. So we have CS Principles, we have Exploring Computer Science, CS Principles, and we've got really good partners to help us get it out there, train teachers, so on and so forth. The third course then is that traditional AP Computer Science. And we really haven't touched that much. And there's more, and now people are saying, well, let's open this up and talk about AP Computer Science, but we haven't gone there yet. And then in career technology, you have to have a fourth course, and that fourth course is traditionally the college course. So that course has to be at the college level. Now you can say, well, AP Computer Science is that's college credit. So in that sense, we've kind of met that criteria, but we really wanted that fourth course to be the college level course. And so we went back to CyberWatch. And so those CyberWatch courses are also all college level courses that are offered in, I think, 11 of our 15 community colleges. And so students who are in high school taking that sequence take that CyberWatch course that is also a college course. So we don't have to have separate articulation agreements. We sort of bypass the historical articulation agreement and just have transcripted credit. And so in Maryland, we've been trying to move away from articulation agreements to transcripted credit, so that by the time the student exits high school, they have college credit transcripted, versus a credit by exam, which may or may not get recognized, an articulation that may or may not get recognized. A transcripted credit is sort of in the bank. So that's what we've done in computer science, in IT and cybersecurity. We've woven cybersecurity through our two major programs, Cisco Academies and computer science.
Very good. Okay, thanks, Pat. I probably have some questions too. I know I do, but I'd like to hear from the other two before we do that. Carlos, why don't you go ahead?
Thank you. My name is Carlos Garcia. I'm a high school CT instructor, 11th and 12th grade. This year I started a program at Capillary Career Center in Michigan. And I'm glad you mentioned something about those that are gonna go to college, both computer science and those who aren't gonna go to E3E. I guess one of my sticklers when I started this program was, I believe that all education is career education, period. So, I had some experiences with middle colleges and things like that, and articulated credit. And one of the problems with the articulated credit is that if you go to the college, the community college, let's say, that accepts the articulated credit, once you transfer to the four-year institution, they may not accept the articulated credit. So they have to take those courses again. So I took a different approach to articulated credit. And I'm blessed by a great administrative team and a great support team. All of my classes are college classes. So I teach the Cisco Networking Academy, I teach the A+ certification, I teach, the Security Plus and those. But those are all college classes. So through Washtenaw Community College, I'm able to offer an associate's degree to my high school students in cybersecurity after a 2-year completion. Now mind you, we started this year, so I'm still working out some of the kinks, but in theory it should work. But all students are exposed to college level learning, and those students who are not part of the dual enrollment program are able to get the articulated credits if they score a B or higher in the course. So even those students who may not think that they're going to go on to college still get the college level learning, still get the college credits if they decide to go to college, and then start off as a junior in a university, basically, if they complete the program of study and all the courses when they're supposed to get them done. So it's been difficult getting all the programs or getting the community colleges on board. I have one Washtenaw that's helping me and is going to grant the associate's degree program. And for parents and students who are going to take AP classes, I discourage them, honestly, because they could take the college class instead of waiting until the end and taking the AP test, and hopefully the school that they're going to go to is going to accept it. Where they can take the actual college level class at the high school, get the transcripted credit, and then move on either into the workforce or into the continuing education at a university. So, a little bit different approach, but seems to be working. So we'll see in about a year.
And you've also got, you had mentioned you also have a relationship with Eastern Michigan University.
Correct. I have the first articulated agreement with Eastern Michigan University. I teach for Washtenaw, and I teach for Eastern and a few others. And what we do with Eastern Michigan University is on Saturdays, we offer Eastern Michigan classes on the campus to those students who want to come in. Our classes are flat rate, so we don't pay per pupil. So whether there's 10 students in it or 30 students in it, doesn't matter. Some of those students are taking the class for transcripted credit. The others, they still show up. They still do the same amount of work. And if they get a B or higher, they get college credit for that class through Eastern Michigan University. So, it's been great. A lot of the students that are there that don't meet the requirements for dual enrollment are able to get the articulated credit. They didn't think that they would have gone to college, and now they're actually saying, oh, I'm going to go. I'm going to do this. I can do this. So the partnerships are there. I've been fortunate, very fortunate. I've approached Ferris State University as well, and Davenport University in Michigan. And hopefully we'll be able to do something with them as a 4-year as well.
Virginia, thank you.
I think what we have is kind of a hybrid of what I'm hearing from the other two panelists. I'm Jenny Muller, and I'm from Chantilly Governor STEM Academy. I just want to paint a picture of what that looks like. It's a place where we offer a variety of electives. We have 17 dual enrollment classes. I have 1,700 students that come to my school from 23 other high schools. So they get on a bus, they come, they take a class, and then they go back. Some of them take 2 or 3 classes. So the classes we offer, just the high schools don't have the room or the space or the money to offer the kinds of things that we offer. So that's what my school looks like. We offer A+ network admin, Cisco, and also Oracle. We don't have We do, but we don't tell kids exactly what order we'd like them to start with. A plus is what we would consider the lower level. Cisco and Oracle about the same. Some students take Cisco and Oracle at the same time. But out of that, they could get 28 credits, college credits, that are, as you were referring, transcripted credits. We don't have articulation agreements. They're all transcripted. So kids are screened to see their college readiness. Most of the agreements that we have are through Northern Virginia Community College. As much as 3 years ago, it was like $30 a credit, and it went down to $20 a credit. This summer, it's free. And that's for the schools in Northern Virginia, for Northern Virginia Community College. So to tell a family that they could get 28 free credits is just really remarkable. I was saying in an earlier session, I see some familiar faces. What I hear from parents is, why should my student take a dual enrollment class versus an AP class? And in the state of Virginia, a lot of our colleges are so competitive to get in. If a student wants to go to Virginia Tech or UVA, those schools want AP classes, and they want all A's in the AP classes. So we fight the battle of a family saying, my child's got to get that AP credit because Virginia Tech doesn't think the same about a dual enrollment course. So I see that the students that are largely enrolled in our dual enrollment classes are the ones that are going to go on to NOVA and then community college and then transfer to the four-year university. There is an agreement between our college community system that all the credits they take are transferable, and they get the first 2 years at Virginia Tech later. So I'm like, hey, if you don't really have the grades to get into Virginia Tech now, 2 years from now you'll be there, you know.